The Brian Gould Show features content from the internet and current events throughout the world. All photos, videos, names, and other content is for entertainment purposes only. Please don't fall asleep. It's rude.
Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Brian Gould Show. Happy Leap Year Day. I'm your host, Brian Gould, along with...
Joe, I'm still suffering from jet lag. Cool.
Yeah, so I see we open up with this letter from a former coworker of yours. I'm sorry, I'm done. Physically and mentally, not the job for me. Again, truly sorry for bailing. I'm ashamed. Good old Eddie. Farewell to Eddie.
Bye, Eddie. We'll miss you.
Yeah. So what happened with that guy? What's up with Eddie?
Well, for those in the audience that don't know, in my spare time, I'm a FedEx driver.
Spare time?
In my spare time,
right.
Yeah. I'm a FedEx driver, and it's not an easy job. And Eddie came in one day, and he was loading his truck, and next thing you know, Eddie disappeared. So everybody went looking for him. And one of the drivers found that note in the truck.
In his truck?
In his truck.
So
he just bailed.
Bounced out.
That's
one way to quit a job.
He'd only been there since Christmas. He made it through Christmas, the hard part, and he just decided to leave. What's the craziest way you've ever left a job?
I worked at McDonald's when I was in college for 2 weeks and went on break and didn't come back because the shift manager at the time, she had a huge crush on one of the cooks in the back. And
you were jealous?
No, we got slammed, and she told me to we had the cashier, and then I was the person that actually handed the food out the window. Well, we got backed up, and it got to a point where I needed help. And she's like, well, just start telling people to park, and you'll run the food out to them. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do that. So after parking 2 or 3 cars, I just kind of glanced back and noticed she's back there flirting with the cook. And I'm like, I need some help out here. And she's like, I told you what to do. And I was like, all right, cool. So, long story short, I went on break and didn't go back. I was like, fine, if you do it your dang self.
The worst way I ever quit a job, I told the boss I was going out for a cigarette break.
But you don't smoke.
And I don't even smoke. And I just never went back.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I had another fast food job for my old Michigan listeners. Up in Alpena, we had a place called Lud's Hamburgers. They had 2 locations. It was privately owned. It was a cheap spin-off of McDonald's. I mean, you could get a hamburger for 20 cents, and I think a cheeseburger, no joke, was like 35 cents.
Wow.
Or it might have been 25 and 35. I mean, it was cheap. Really, really cheap. So everyone got a job there, and everyone quit there. So I got a job, and I want to say on my 2nd or 3rd day, our drive-through window had a bunch of seagull poop all over it outside.
Oh no!
Up on the wall and the window, and even where you order the food. And the main manager's like, here, take this bucket of soapy water, go out there and scrub it off. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And it was sprinkling outside. It just started to, it wasn't quite raining, but it was sprinkling. I'm like, well, it's starting to rain. She's like, oh, it's just sprinkling. You're fine. Just go out there and do it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went out there, and I'm age of 16, proud that I'm at my first job. And about 10 minutes into this, I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. So I go back inside after I get done and go back to cashiering. The next day, we had one of those play areas for the kids with the ball pit.
Mm-hmm.
Some kid busted his head, and there's a little bit of blood in there. Well, there must have been, 1,500 balls in this ball pit, give or take, 100 or 2.
Brian, go clean off all the balls.
Bucket of bleach water, one by one, dunking them in the water and drying them off with the towel.
Wow.
Yep, I had to put them all into plastic bags, and then big garbage bags, and then go through each one. I had to wipe down the little ball pit area first, and then sit on a chair.
Gives a whole new meaning to the word washing your balls.
Yeah. I washed a lot of balls that day, and then I quit. I was like, this is definitely not worth it.
No, some jobs you just have to cut your loss and go on.
Yeah. So one thing I won't do is wash balls that aren't mine. Moving on. So Peyton Manning here, the Broncos are doing something really unique. They've got a little over $20 million, right at $20 million in cap space, assuming Peyton Manning's not coming back. And Peyton has not officially announced his retirement, but we're all more or less guessing he will. He had a nice long talk with John Elway, and they're supposed to be meeting up pretty soon again to talk again about whether he's returning or not. Well, the Broncos are moving quick to sign Brock Osweiler to a long-term deal because Osweiler's contract is up. He's only 25, and he did pretty good while Peyton was gone.
Did very well. Beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
Must be doing something right.
So, what, with that motion put forward, that more or less tells me that Peyton's done.
If they're already investing more money in Osweiler, I'd say, yeah, Peyton's definitely done. I don't think Peyton wants to go play for another team. I know a couple teams that probably would like to have him.
Oh, I'm sure.
But Peyton's almost, 40?
39. He turns 40 next month.
Yeah, his time's done.
It is, but what if Peyton says, yeah, I want to come back for one more? What do you do if you're Denver?
Then I think Denver shot himself in the foot.
Do you take him on or say, sorry, we're going elsewhere?
Now, is his contract already in place? They're talking to Osweiler thinking Manning's done.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they're
all that
use
money,
Peyton's money to keep
Peyton's
the kid.
money. Then you go to Peyton and say, yeah, I can't afford to pay you
then they
X
cut him.
amount of money.
He's got till March 9th.
Yeah.
And then they can cut him.
Hurry up March 9th, because I'm dying to find out.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think I think he's done.
Yeah.
I don't think we see
Also,
him back.
there's another young stud quarterback out there looking for a new job.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting ready to quit FedEx.
Yeah, no.
Oh, different one?
Yeah. Colin.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Colin Kaepernick asked for a trade. Told
Did
his
he?
agent to get traded out of San Francisco.
Wow.
So
why
that
do you think that is?
Well, he's not happy. He's not happy with the system there.
Think it's because Hardball left? Because ever since Hardball left, the team really...
The team stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
How
think
do you go from being contenders to
nothing?
nothing?
It happens fast. It happens overnight, it seems like.
The players don't change, though. It's the coaching.
Yep. And the system.
It's the system.
Yep.
So you're going to get angry and leave, take your ball, and virtually go home because the coach left.
He could stay in California area. I mean, the Rams are moving out there. They're going to be looking for somebody, I'm sure. And Magic Johnson has teased and talked with Peyton Manning to come play for the Rams because Magic Johnson already bought season tickets to the Rams.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. They were sitting side by side talking.
I don't think it happens.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. But but the Rams,
it'd be surprising. I don't know, where would Cullen go? I'm sure there's a lot of teams that would like to have him.
Right now, with the way his contract's structured, I know he's getting paid a decent amount. I don't know if anybody's got room cap-wise for him.
Because you're not going to bring him in as a backup.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. He's a decent quarterback.
Yeah.
Now let me throw this out to you. Okay, it's just hypothetical. I know it's not going to happen. You're the Bucks, and Colin Kaepernick is available.
Oof.
Do you stay with Winston, who won the Rookie of the Year? Congratulations, by the way. Or do you go with somebody like Kaepernick and you have Winston sit for a year behind him?
I think you take everything away morally from Winston and take some wind out of his sails. He could learn from Colin, which is not a bad thing, but I think progression later on down the road, it would hurt his career and his thought process with the Bucks, because he's true blue Tampa Bay kid all the way through. And maybe he should have some understanding. Hey, we're bringing in a veteran that's proven. We want you to learn from him. Let him play. Get out there and,
Or you have him battle it out at the beginning and see who the starter is. Maybe it's good that he has some kind of competition to step up his game up.
But having your job threatens not.
Is it really threatening his job? He's young. He's going to be around for a while.
You hope. You sign him to 5 years and he bails after the 5th year because you toyed with him his 2nd year in the season with some.
Well, at 5th year, he should be starter.
You would. Well, he's starter
He's
now.
Starter now.
Yeah. That's a tough position. As a coach.
Or same thing, he could go to Denver.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
What do you do with there? Do you put him over Osweiler?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I don't even flinch at that. I say yes.
I don't. I'll tell you why. Osweiler has experience with that group.
Yeah.
He knows those guys. It'd be a whole new learning experience, I think, if you go Kaepernick in there.
Yeah,
I think Kaepernick's the better quarterback.
Yes.
Or I should say, was the better quarterback.
I think wherever he goes, he's gonna have a tough time.
Is he another Josh Freeman?
We'll find out when he goes to his next team.
Yeah, he could be a total bust.
Yep.
From here on out.
Yep.
He could be a total bust.
He might have already played his best years.
That's
Hopefully
sad.
not, because he's a good kid.
Yeah. Unreal. What else we got coming up? A lot of sports today.
Well, mostly sports. The Outdoor Classic for you NHL fans. My Red Wings took on the Colorado Avalanche. Really good game. Went back and forth all the way up until the 3rd period. Detroit ended up winning that game 5-3. But really good game. I love watching those games. It happened to be actually one of the warmest outdoor games in NHL history.
I was going to say, I'd like to see the Winter Classic come here to Florida.
Well, it was 62 degrees come game time. They didn't even have snow on the field. They used cotton. They took big bunches of cotton.
Not like they do at the mall.
Oh, yes.
At Santa's
yes, and filled the field full of cotton to make it look like it got snowed out. Well, partway through the 2nd period, a big gust of wind came through and blew a bunch of it into the stands and onto the ice. It's kind of funny to watch. But
now, how do they keep the ice from melting?
Oh, they've got that thing on overdrive.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was an evening game, or late afternoon there, evening
that
game
helped
for us.
because it was getting cooler.
Right.
Speaking of hockey, I had a nice little last week.
Yeah, so last week, didn't do a show. You took a little vacay. Again, that's twice within freaking 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I wish I could take vacation time.
Hey, when you work hard...
you work hard. You don't work hard.
I hardly work.
Yeah, exactly. Showed up, or let me rephrase that. You took off, and I didn't do the show. Didn't want to go Lone Ranger last week, so...
You missed me.
Yeah, actually, I was pretty busy last Monday. So.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I was organizing my sock drawer. It was.
Yeah, scrubbing the toilet. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
You're cleaning bird poop off the ledge, right?
Yeah, right off the wall in the rain. So you took off. What'd you do?
I went to where I was born and raised in Maryland, and visited some friends. And
so you went to an alley.
Went to an alley.
You said born and raised.
Yeah.
Born in an alley.
Exactly. And we went to an AHL hockey game.
Nice.
American Hockey League. And
what's the energy like for one of those games?
It was just like being at the NHL games.
Yeah.
And it looked like the arena was smaller. It only held 10,500 people.
I was going to say, between 8 and 10?
Yeah, and it looked like the ice was shorter. I don't know the dimensions of the ice.
You might be sitting... Well, you sat pretty close.
We sat second row.
So, of course, it looks smaller from that aspect.
Yeah, but you could see all the way down the other side of the...
Yeah, there's a thing called glass. So you're allowed to see through it. Of course, you can see
to
the other side.
Is called?
No way.
No way. Awesome. But, great game. The Hershey Bears.
Ah.
Hershey Bears.
Who'd they play? The Hershey Bears.
They played the Bruins.
The Bruins. You know what the Hershey Bears junior team's called?
What?
The Hershey Squirts.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Funny, going back to that, you could see all the way down to the other side of the ice comment. A long time ago, I was dating this girl, and she was a dingbat, and we turned on a basketball game, and we're sitting there watching the game on TV, and she's like, man, from this angle, you can see the whole court. And I stopped, and I looked at her, I'm like, you realize that the camera is giving us that viewpoint? And she's like, oh yeah, never mind. Like she thought like we were at the game, like from this seat, wherever they were shooting in this. I was like, really? You're such an
camera angle.
Yeah. She's like, man, from here you can see everything. And I'm like, oh.
I do hate that though. When you go to a hockey game and you're sitting all the way down one end and you can't see all the way down the other end. You have to look up at the Jumbotron to see what's going on down that end because you're so far away.
Well, I don't know. The Amalie Arena for the Lightning, there isn't a bad seat in that arena.
If you're sitting up top,
if
you're sitting up top, there's not a bad seat.
That One Wings game that we went to, where we were sitting up against the wall, that was really odd.
But you could see the whole ice.
Yeah.
Not like when we sat down, 7th row, and that lady, the pregnant lady next to us, was eating the Texas Tunyon.
She wasn't pregnant. She was just overweight.
She was just fat?
Yeah.
Oh, she ate the whole Texas Tunyon.
Yeah, we were, 6 or 7 rows back behind the goal, or to the side of the goal.
Yeah.
And yeah, that lady, holy cow, she shoveled that in like 5 minutes flat.
We laugh at that even to today, and that was years ago.
The Tunyon was eating the Tunyon.
The Tunyon.
So, yeah, the Wings came away with the win. Congrats to the Wings.
Eiserman scored.
Yeah, the Legends game the night before, that was kind of cool to see those guys actually just play a decent game against each other. And that rivalry, Colorado and Detroit, for those of you that don't follow hockey, or at least that rivalry, anytime the Wings and Colorado played each other in the playoffs before they did the realignment, the winner ended up going on to win the Stanley Cup.
Is that right?
They met 5 times in the playoffs against each other, like in the conference finals, 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
And the winner went on to win the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
So it was like Detroit won the first series 4-2, won the Cup. Then Colorado won 4-2. Then Colorado won 4-3. And then Detroit swept them a couple seasons later. Like that rivalry. But it wasn't just like good hockey. It was like physical smash mouth. Claude Lemieux, Darren McCarty fighting, knocking each other's teeth out. And even at the end, for the handshake, when they do the handshake, they were walking by and saying F you to each other and sometimes being held back from fighting.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was legit. Even the goaltenders. Man, Chris Osgood and Patrick Waugh fought center ice in a game once. And so did Mike Vernon for the Red Wings. There was a big brawl during a game. Remember watching it, and Patrick Waugh was squatted over with his forearms on his knees, and Mike Vernon started skating a little bit towards the fight. It was off to his right, and Mike Vernon kind of perked up, Scooby-Doo style, and Mike Vernon and Patrick Waugh locked eyes. And Waugh gave like this little heads up, like nod, like you want to go, mofo, and then Vernon dropped his gloves,
so
and they smashed, wham, center ice, and it was on, boom, 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 boom. So
there was a fight last year. Ben Bishop got in a fight last year, and you hardly ever see goalies getting up.
No, that's what made this rivalry good. It was the hatred between the two, but then to see the Legends game, and just mostly a clean, fun game to watch.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I've never seen a Legends game. These guys have to be in there close to 60?
No, not all of them. I mean, Yzerman's probably upper 40s, and he played.
Yeah.
Maybe early. I don't know. You're ranging from people that are retired, so they could be early 40s up into their 50s. I mean, it's not like they called Gordie Howe and said, "Hey, come play."
Why they have to be retired?
Oh yeah, well,
Did you say retard?
Did they call you?
Oh, you said retard. Now
retired.
Oh, retired. I thought you said retard. So let me ask you this, okay? Those guys range in age. Do they go out there and they hit each other?
No hitting. No, I mean they'll push each other around and Some
It's
are
all in
aggressive.
fun.
Yeah, it's for fun. Yeah.
It's all in fun.
Yeah.
Man, I'd like to see two 60-year-olds just check each other and go at it.
Gordie
Break
Howe
a
played
hip.
into his 60s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, look at Yarmir. Yarmir's almost 50, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting up
And
there.
he's still playing.
And he can play. That's
Yeah.
the difference. He can still play. He's not just hanging around to hang around. He can still play.
Man, it'd be interesting to see these old guys go out there and hit each other, break a hip.
They wouldn't do it. Yeah, you'd be gurneying every other player off.
Speaking of injuries, last night at the Lightning game, I showed you a clip of it. Tyler Johnson taking a puck to the face.
Yikes.
Blood everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh, man. I hope he's okay because I think the Lightning need him.
Yeah, well, that kid did phenomenal last year in the playoffs. That whole run for them. I mean, how he ate up the Detroit Red Wings like we weren't even there, scoring shorthanded goals on the power play and breakaway. And it was like if he could put the puck on net, you knew you were getting a goal out of him. That kid's a phenomenal player.
If he had been healthy during the Stanley Cups, I think it might have been a different.
I think if him being a little bit better, and I think Stamkos.
He broke his wrist last year. Nobody knew it.
Stamkos actually would have put up 4 or 5 points, meaning goals or assists during that Stanley Cup, then the outcome might have been different. But Chicago just had the experience.
The better team.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, they've been playing together for a while.
I agree. But this year, go Bolts.
Yeah,
They're in second place.
We'll see how that pans out.
Florida Panthers were right on your heels.
Yeah, the two best teams in the Eastern Conference are Florida and Tampa.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
A non-hockey state
And
that
you're
is now a
Detroit.
hockey state.
Your Detroit Red Wings are what, fourth?
We're sitting fourth.
Behind
We've got the
Bruins.
first wild card spot, which makes me nervous, and I don't want to be Mr. Jinxie here, but we have not missed the playoffs in 23 or 24 straight seasons.
Came close last year.
No,
didn't you?
no, we're close
I thought
this
you were
year.
Close last year.
No, we Detroit was the fifth seed and Tampa was the fourth seed. We played,
For some reason, I thought you just squeaked in.
Nah.
No. So this year, you think you're going to make it?
I'm nervous.
You're nervous. Want to take some bets right now, right here.
I think we get
On
in.
record.
I just don't want to be seated that far down. That's all.
Why? Then you have a harder team to play.
We go on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. We play great at home, and we don't play so hot on the road. We destroyed Tampa when we were playing at home, and then when I went and watched the Wings game a couple weeks ago down here in Tampa, it was like we were in scrimmage or practice mode, and Tampa was skating circles around us.
Yeah, it's like that. Whenever you guys play us here, we always end up winning.
Yeah. I've been to 5 Detroit-Tampa games in the last 5 seasons here, and we've won 1 out of
I was going to say about one or two,
yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
The games that I went to. I mean, we played more times than that, but
But Tampa's improved a lot over those years,
yeah,
too.
no, they're a lot better. And I'll give credit where credit's due. It's a good young team that knows how to keep up with the big boys.
They need to keep them together, too. Bishop's a free agent at the end of this year, I think.
They
have a lot of free agents.
They got some moving parts there that they have to figure out how to lock down and keep things rolling in the right direction. So
It looks like keeping Stamkos was a good move.
we'll see.
No, he scored. He has like a 5-game goal scoring.
We'll see.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think they should have traded him.
No, you can't get rid of him.
You shouldn't, but
No, we'll disagree on that one.
so in some wrestling news here, we got Shane McMahon taking on The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Shane O'Mac is back.
Who's winning that and why? Who wins?
It has to be. Why? I don't understand the whole match.
Right.
To me, there's something more that they're going to throw at us.
We did talk about that, and
Yeah.
my feeling is there's a swerve that's going to come that probably screws over The Undertaker. If Shane's coming back to probably take over Raw, is the stipulation, then one of two things is there's one of two reasons why that match is set. Either one, for the ratings to see if Shane can really do it and Taker squashes him, and Shane doesn't get Monday Night Raw, so it's a ratings thing to help bulk up WrestleMania because all their key players are injured right now. Dolph's down, Orton's down, Cena's down.
Dolph went down?
Dolph's... Something's up with Dolph. I can't remember what exactly.
I think he's leaving anyhow.
Right. Yes. There's too many key players down, and the card's not looking that phenomenal.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, look at your main event.
I agree.
So you're either bringing wrestling fans hype to it, hoping that you draw more ratings to see if Shane can really beat Taker. So that's one spinoff. Or two, it's that along with they're going to screw Taker, bury him, and Shane takes over Raw, and then we get to see a Shane McMahon era and help boost Raw ratings some more.
You might be onto something there, because I don't think it's not going to be a straight up match.
No,
there's a reason they put it Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. So there's no DQ. So who's going to interfere?
Ryback maybe, because they're turning him again.
Who could
build him up?
Who could be the next corporate guy for?
Or you surround, the lights go out, and when they come back on, all of the members of the Wyatt family
again. They kill that.
They killed it, but
this
would be a way of redoing it, because they carried him out. They carried Taker out after one.
Kane and Taker took him out, and that's what I don't like with what WWE's vision is with the Wyatt family. They show up at the damnedest times. They showed up on Taker. They showed up on Kane. They showed up on Roman Reigns. Whoever, and it's like, okay, this is an actual storyline I want to see, and then it's build up to the next pay-per-view event,
and they kill it,
and the Wyatts lose.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't do that, because you already know what's going to happen.
What bigger way of making a name for yourself than to be the ones that took Taker out? I mean, Brock's popularity got through the roof when he beat, Taker.
And it made sense. And I hate that saying when it comes to racing. That makes no sense. But it made sense. Brock's the bigger, stronger athlete of the two, and for Brock to actually be the one to end that streak wasn't a shock to me.
No, I think we both sat down.
I lost wrestling friends because I tweeted stuff, and they're like, "Oh, it's such BS," and blah, blah. I'm like, "Stop crying about it. Brock's legit.
Right.
Brock's not a real wrestler. Right. Okay, right, whatever."
Brock is one of the baddest men on the planet.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah,
legit. But we'll just have to see. Mania, they better do something to
That's why I think it's a ratings thing, because you've got Reigns and Triple H for the title. We're more or less going to see Brock and Dean Ambrose.
I'll tell you what it does show me, Brian. It shows me that Vince doesn't have faith in who he has working now.
Well, it's not enough.
That he would have to bring...
He needs to bring a few names. It's not enough weight. Right. This is WrestleMania 32 in a stadium that seats 100,000 people before you get to the floor. The Silverdome record was 93,000, so they're obviously going to crush it if they sell it out. But if your main event is Triple H and Roman Reigns with a Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar undercard,
yep.
I'm glad I'm sitting at home for $9.99
and you'll see,
and not spending $100 to go.
And you'll see New Day versus...
Who cares?
No, they're turning New Day. They're going to go against Sheamus and that group, whatever.
Okay, regardless.
League of Nations.
You're listing all this stuff. If I lived locally in Dallas and had an opportunity to go to WrestleMania, based on the card that's there now, I'd keep my happy ass at home and watch it for $9.99.
Would you?
Drink my beers and eat my chicken wings with you, and that's what I'd say.
I would still go because... It's
the experience. We've gone three times.
We've gone 3 times to Mania. There's no experience like it. It's a good atmosphere.
I guess push comes to shove, if it was that close, I probably would go. I guess excitement-wise, I'm not excited about this card.
It's funny because when we left one of the Manias, I think I said it to you that I was let down. And I think it was the Hell in a Cell
in Miami.
Because they didn't use the cage at all.
They didn't use it at all.
And to me, what was the point of having Hell in the Cell if you're not going to use the cage?
Right.
Makes no. There you go. Makes no sense.
Bingo. And then Atlanta, that main event was such a letdown between The Miz and The Rock.
Miz should not be in a main event.
Yeah, well,
Miz definitely should not be in the main event.
They thought they were going somewhere with that, but they didn't.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, I mean,
do we see any big surprise returns? Goldberg?
No.
No? There's been rumor about him.
If you're going to see anybody, my guess is going to be one of two people. Either Hogan or Angle. Kurt Angle.
Does Angle have the name big enough to draw people in there? I don't think so.
Depends on who they put in front of him.
I don't see anybody. Does he wrestle?
Yeah, he might be too banged up.
Are they? Because I've heard rumors Rey Mysterio coming back.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Not a big enough name to bring people in.
That's why I think this WrestleMania is
going to
good.
Suck.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's kind of dead in the water. There's talks of having 2 different Divas matches and hoping that the Divas carry some weight.
Yikes! 2 of them?
2 matches. Yeah.
No, I can't see that.
A tag match and then a singles match, or possibly 2 singles matches.
That's just to kill time, then.
Well, you know what? You look at it as time killer, ratings. But you know what? As far as ratings, yeah, you're probably going to lose a little bit. But right now, the best performers are those women right now, the Divas.
Charlotte.
I mean, maybe the storylines behind them that's written for them stinks, but as far as in-ring, what they're doing, the ability, exactly, they're doing a lot better than most of the guys on the roster.
Maybe it's time just to bring some new NXT guys up and don't waste them.
Right.
Neville, why didn't they push that kid a little bit further?
Yeah. They gave him a King of the Ring push and got him to the finals, and he lost to Barrett.
And that's it.
And then they had him feud with Stardust, and Stardust really isn't a big enough heel name for him. I mean, it was a good developmental run for him, I guess, on that level, but
the fans just weren't behind it.
No.
I don't understand it.
You're gonna have to grab a couple older names that we haven't seen in a while. The Hardys or I don't know.
Hardys just re-signed, I think, with TNA.
Great.
They're not coming.
A Rob Van Dam, something. Just pull someone out of the air that.
Yeah, bring back Goldberg. Bring back Goldberg
if you can get him.
If you can get him, you need something.
Because I
hate to say it, Shane, great performer in the ring, Shane.
10, 15 years ago.
He hasn't been doing anything, so he might not be hurt.
Well, no,
he's probably healthy.
He's healthy, but can he carry a match now?
I bet you he could. Speaking of which, why don't we talk a little bit Godfather going in the Hall of Fame.
Going in the Hall of Fame.
Congrats.
Great character. Congrats, yeah. Nice.
I liked him better when he was Papa Shango.
Yeah, that gimmick was nice.
Oh, yeah. I think they should have ran a little bit further with that angle.
What happened is that came in at the end of the comic book character phase where it almost didn't seem believable anymore.
I don't know. He pulled it off pretty good.
He did well with it. That was mid-'90s, and you got Hall and Nash jumping ship and starting to be... I think it got phased out because that seemed more believable.
They wanted to keep it real because you didn't know
It looked real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so put it this way. You got Hall and Nash, not Razor Ramon and Diesel. You got Hall and Nash showing up on Monday Night Raw, and Papa Shango comes out with a smoking skull. What's Hall and Nash going to do? They're going to bend over, stomach cramping with blood running from their head mysteriously? No, they're going to beat the snot out of Papa Shango.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. The gimmick errors
at that time,
and he was a
few years too late.
Papa Shango?
Yeah. He was good. I liked the character, but the character phase was phasing out at that point when they brought him in. Just like Adam Bomb.
Then why give him... If that's the case, then why give him the character of the Godfather? You're kind of going from...
Because that's more believable than a
pimp?
A head doctor.
A pimp is more believable.
Well, yeah. Walking down with the hoe train.
He should have came out with fuzzy dice on a car and
they should have had him in it. Yeah, exactly.
That would have been cool.
Like a big pimped out boss.
They could have really done more for that. But he did good. Congratulations. Yeah. Definitely deserves it.
So far, we've got Sting and the Godfather.
The Godfather. Who else goes in? Freebirds?
More than likely. This
I
might
think it's a
be
shame that
might be name wise one of the bigger ones since Hogan, Orndorff, and didn't Heenan go in the same year?
Sheik and Volkov.
I mean, there was one class that was just marquee.
That was just total.
This might be one of the bigger ones.
All of WrestleMania went in, I think, at the same time, except for Mr. T.
Right.
Who goes in as a celebrity?
You know what? I did read that. I don't
Cindy
remember.
Lauper. I'm surprised she's not in.
I read it somewhere and I don't remember who, and it made sense because he hosted. Yeah, I don't remember who it was. I'm drawing a blank, but
I don't like the Celebrity Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's all right. I get it.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. Had a great day here. It's leap day.
Go take a leap.
And the last day of Black History Month.
Sorry, Brian.
Hey, I took the odd days this year because there's one extra day. So.
It's leap year, so that's one less day for the black people to
next
celebrate,
year.
right?
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
No, you're not. Shut up. I'm gonna sick the Hershey squirts on you. All right, guys. Want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, SRQ Tattoo. Thank you, guys. Grim and the boys over there, they have done some phenomenal work. They hooked up Jake. Jake got hooked up really well with a nice tattoo. Take care of those guys when you go in. When they'll give you a really good deal, and they do work off the tips as well, charge you whatever. But hook them up with a few extra dollars cash. They do a great job there. So thank you, SRQ Tattoo, for sponsoring the show, and make sure you head over to BrianGouldShow.com. and check out the store and all the other stuff I got going on. There's a few new tabs at the top that you might be interested in, fellas. So go check it out. And next week, I have a new segment coming out. It's going to be, I don't know if I'm going to call it 4 minutes with or 5 minutes with. It depends on how long the interviews go. But I actually got in touch with some celebrities that are going to allow me to do interviews with them. And should be pretty interesting. So
you're already talking to me.
Yeah, I know it. Imagine that. But you look for that. You'll see that on the YouTube channel coming soon. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Later.